Alrighty, hey everyone. Sorry, it's kind of scrambling here to get caught up on everything here for you guys and for myself as well. Had my son's soccer games tonight actually, so I got home a little late trying to catch up on everything else. But obviously the markets didn't do well today for us. Bitcoin went down quite hard, so did the miners for the most part. Cipher finally got a deal with Fluidstack and Google backing it there. Then they also did a convertible note on top of it, so we'll discuss all of those things. I'll give you guys my thoughts on it. What else do we have here? We got the latest short data on the miners as well. We'll take a look at that. We got some other stories to talk about also. We'll cover those things. Another price target increase for IREN as well. And I think that's it here. So hopefully you guys took today as a good day to buy in, right? A lot of you guys were talking about looking for time to buy in. Today was a great day to do it if you did it. But as always, we got to get through this part. Not financial advice for only. Do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. You guys know the drill. All right, let's get into it here with the market really quick as far as what happened today. So Bitcoin was down quite a bit here. It obviously got rejected from the 100 simple day moving average today. It was down 3.8% here. And markets were down as well. We had the GDP figures come out today. I think it was at 3.8% for Q2, which is actually pretty good, right? We had a negative 0.6% in Q1, I believe. So the year is looking pretty good here so far. But we also had the jobs data come out, I believe, on that. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I think that was actually lower than expectations. So I think there's some fear in the market that potentially we may not get the rate cuts. I think we're still going to get the rate cuts happening in October, but I think the market just overreacted today on that stuff, more or less. Also, one other thing that I wanted to show you guys here is that in the last couple of months, or last 2-3 months or so, we've been seeing Bitcoin go down towards the end of the month here. We've had it at least for the last 3 months or so. So here's what I wanted to show you guys. Let's go back to basically end of June into July here, right? We had Bitcoin going up, and then the last couple of days, last 2 days, it actually fell in price. Then we finally spiked back up here, right into July. We got to a high of, what was that one on that one? That was a high of 123,231. We went sideways more or less, so down a little bit, but then we finished out going down red again towards the end of the month here, right? Basically 5 days before the end of the month here. We're kind of close to that right now as it is. So we went down again in August here, or July into August. Going into finally August here, we had a nice bounce after that. After August started, we went back up, got a new all-time high again, 124,000. And then we can continue to go down here on it as well, especially the last couple of days here. We really went hard down on it, right? So kind of similar setup that we were seeing here right now, at least. We're heading down again into the end of the month here, looks like. And we'll see where we actually end up at. I'm hoping we'll still be in the green on it, but it looks like it's a similar setup here. So we rocket during the middle of the month. We go down towards the end of the month here. And we can see that also on like the Dow Jones. If you look at this, right? Dow Jones here, you can see last 2 months, at least on that one. You can see it in July here. End of the month, we go down. August, we were going up. Last 2 days, we go down, right? And we're kind of seeing the same thing happening again here. So this is nothing out of the ordinary here. A little bit of a correction, whatever you want to call it, a little bit of a pullback, healthy pullback, whatnot. This is fine. I'm not seeing anything that's freaking me out, at least right now, that we're doomed on this. You can see this also on the NASDAQ composite as well. Right, last 2 days of the month we go down. Last 2 days of the month we go down. Now we're starting to go down a little bit earlier here. We obviously had the rate cuts announcement and everything else, but we still actually are going down because of that possibly as well. And then the S&P 500, similar setup, go down right the last couple of days of the month here, going down the last couple of days of the month here, and we're actually starting early here on that one as well. So not a big deal. Great opportunity to buy in if you were able to buy in. A lot of you guys and gals that have been obviously watching here have been asking me questions. When should I get into some of these guys here? And I always try to tell you guys on pullbacks. Well, today was a great pullback. So hopefully you got into it. And it looks like some of you guys did, which is great. So long-term view, still positive, still going north, going to the upside. Short-term, volatility is going to be there, right? But volatility can be also your friend if you take advantage of it and buy the dips, right? You're getting sale on some of these things here happening right now. You got a big sale on Cipher today. As well. We'll talk about that here in a second. But sales are to be taken advantage of unless the economy and everything else is really going down. Well, then you might want to sell some stuff, but we're not in that spot anywhere near that right now. All right, so sales, take advantage of those. All right, miner-wise here, let's see what Ethereum did today. Ethereum had a hard day as well. It was down 6.7% also. It's kind of bouncing back up here a little bit now in the after hours of the new day on it, and so is Bitcoin. And I'm having allergy attack. Oh, let's see. Okay, that one went away. If I get another one, I'm going to try and mute it before I sneeze loudly into the microphone. Allergies might be kicking in again for me. Hopefully they don't, but we'll see. Bitfarms here. Bitfarms was down 3.42%. Overall, not too bad. Bitdeer was down 5.42%. Kang was down 6.61%. This one has continued to go down. Pretty rough. I mean, the last time it was at this price was back in June. Cipher was down 17.54% after being up nicely in the pre-hours, pre-market hours. I mean, it was up 14, 15, I think even at 1.16% or something like that. And then, obviously it came crashing down here on the news. And I think once people digest the convertible notes and everything else, plus I think the convertible notes are the reason why it went down. I think the institutions that are going to be buying that up drove it down so they can get a better deal on it. So that's part of it also. Cleanspark was down 5.33%. It was almost positive on the day at one point, or it was positive actually at one point. CORZ was down just 1%. Hive was down 11.6%. Hut 8 was down 7.87. IREN was down just 1.8. It was positive also at one point during the day. Mawson was down 8.9%. Riot down 6.95%. Wolf was down just a little bit, 3.77%. MicroStrategy was down quite a bit, almost 7% there, 6.99%. This thing is back down to a price where it was back in April of this year. This thing is not performing well at all here recently. Galaxy was down 6.1% also. Block was down 3.67. Coin was down 4.69. Metaplanet was down 5%. This thing also is not performing well here after reaching a high of 1,930 there on that one. Yeah, I think that's in Japanese dollars. I don't think it's dollar-wise, is it? Might be. I don't know. Exodus was down 9.69%. This one, Nexon, was actually up 0.55. Semler was down 4.46. Phoenix was down 4.17. GameStop was down 3.73. And I got my allergies kicking in because I'm getting a runny nose here. So I do apologize for the sniffles. Any was up just a little bit, 0.2%. Argo was down 1.4. DG Power was down 2.05. DMG was down 7.1. Mawson, for some reason, was actually up 10.11%. Oh, jeez, here comes a sneeze. All right, sneeze gone for now at least. We'll get a couple more of those coming up here, so I do apologize. Let's see. Bitcoin miner ETFs were down. BitQ was down 4.89, and another sneeze coming up. Okay, BKCH was down 6.07. DAP was down 5.67. WGMI was down 6.31%. Ethereum holding companies were also down. BMNR was down 4.53%. BitDigital was down 6.67%. BTCS down 6.8%. Game was down 6.25%. Another sneeze there. SBET was down 7.22%. And then what else do we have here? We got ABTC being down 4.29%. Wi-Fi, BitDigital's company there was down 10.13%. Open was actually up to date, 10.45%. Oracle was down 5.5%. Nebius was down 4.6%. And Soluna was down 16%. Oh, gosh, I hate allergies. Especially when they come on when I'm on the air. Not the most fun there. All right, so that's basically the market overall, what happened here today. Like I said, buying opportunity if you were able to get into it. Miners shooting after hours right now. Let's see how they're doing. We got Bitdeer being down 1.93%. Bitfarms is down 1.5% roughly. Cipher being up actually now 3.43%. Cleanspark is, let's see, flat up 0.22%. CORZ Scientific is down 0.42%. Hive is up 1.95%. Hut 8 is up 0.75%. IREN is up right now 0.35%. Mara is up 0.81%. Riot is down actually. It looks like 0.18 on that one. And then TerraWolf is down. Actually, it's up 0.73%. And lastly, Soluna here, which has obviously been rocketing here recently, is up 3.74% on that one. All right, Bitcoin for the month of, or for the quarter actually is up 1.82%. For the month, we are up just barely 0.71% here. So we have a big day of options expirations happening tomorrow. We'll see if we can maintain Bitcoin in the green or not. I'm guessing we'll probably be in the red here just by the way things are going, but we'll see. On that one. Bitcoin ETF inflows. We had obviously outflows today, 331 million so far without IBIT reporting, which is BlackRock there. This FedWatch tool here right now. Let's see what that one gets updated to on it. See where we are right now. We're still at 86% here. They're looking for a quarter basis point rate cut there on that one. All right, some stuff that we do have here. IREN, Mizuho. Securities analyst assigned a buy rating on the Queen today, which is IREN, at set price target of $75. So there's another one that's right around $75 to $82 in range. So that's great for IREN there. Matthew Schultz here posted this today. This was a talk on Fox Business here. They actually talked about Cleanspark there a little bit. So let's see if this works and the audio is good for you guys here. We'll just take a quick listen to this.
Picks for us. What's this Cleanspark? Oh, wonderful company trading at $13.50. This is the lowest cost bit miner in the U.S. And here's what's interesting. Not only is it $13, Stuart, it trades at 10 times earnings. It's cheap. That's half the valuation of the S&P 500. And what they're doing, and this is what makes it exciting, I think, is that they are taking some of their excess capacity and diverting it to artificial intelligence. In other words, they're converting some of their data centers into AI data centers, and all of a sudden that 10 PE multiple becomes a 40 or 50 PE multiple. So I have a $57 target on Cleanspark. It's at $13 now.
I hate to tell you this, but that stock is going down as you've been speaking.
Oh, that's fine.
I'll move the market against you.
That's fine. It's a very volatile name, and people need to recognize with all these AI, keep it small. You know, a 2 or 3% position is ample. And
all right, so Cleanspark's getting some attention. Obviously, what did he say? Like $35 is where he's looking to get the stock at, or where the stock could possibly run to here. So this is great news. We're getting national attention on Cleanspark, which is nice. So hopefully that helps out the stock here going forward. We also have a comment from Mike Alfred here. Mike Alfred, they scared a lot of beginner investors and solid hands out of Cipher today. Very tricky. Now they're walking it back up after hours as the zero coupon convert. Likely oversubscribed. All noise. The critical thing is Cipher owns 100%. Google, high margin revenue, more deals on the way. Hold on to it, which I agree, right? These institutions that are going to be buying these oversubscribed convertible notes, we'll see what that actually comes in at. I'm guessing it's probably going to be over $1 billion in total once that is all said and done here, because they came in at 800 million there for it. So that is going to be working out. Once that does get worked out and they're oversubscribed and everything else on the convertible notes, we'll start to see the stock actually going back up here afterwards. But yeah, we'll get into that here in a second, because obviously we need to talk about it as far as why did they do it and all those things. But that's great news here. Also, we had Mike reporting that he bought some Cleanspark shares. He sees them possibly going the same way or same route as IREN, building out their own GPUs, becoming basically a neocloud, a small neocloud potentially as well on top of it. So that's why he got into Cleanspark there as well. So that's awesome to see. Next here, obviously Cipher. Well, we'll probably get into this here second. Let's do the actual deal here for him. So Cipher Mining signs 168 megawatt 10-year AI hosting agreement with Fluidstack. Fluidstack is obviously backed by Google. Transaction secures $3 billion in contracted revenue over 10 years, so $300 million a year. Expected delivery is 168 megawatts of critical IT load by September of next year, so basically a year out. Google backstops 1.4 billion Fluidstack's obligations and receives 5.4% equity stake in Cipher, and establishes Cipher with its 2.4 gigawatt pipeline as a major AI data center developer, which is true. So how does this deal compare to the one that Fluidstack did with TeraWulf? It's pretty close. They're pretty close. TeraWulf had a little bit of a better deal, just slightly, not much, but slightly. One of the reasons I think that might be is because of the location. TeraWulf's location is much closer to a much larger metropolitan area, so maybe that's part of it. But maybe they just worked out a better deal. But I think that might be a small reason why. We know that the site that they're going in here is going to be in Texas. Yes, there's a large area or large population as well over there in Texas, but it's not as large as the New York, New Jersey area, all that around there. So that might be partially the reason for it as well. But overall, it's pretty close, not too far off from each other here. what else do we know here? Under the agreement, Cipher will deliver 168 megawatts of critical IT load, supported by maximum 244 megawatt of gross capacity at its Barber Lake site in Colorado City, Texas. With its currently energized capacity, potential for 500 megawatt capacity expansion and 587 acres of surrounding land, the site is well suited to meet the needs of next generation compute, which is true there. Let's see, the agreement also represents approximately $3 billion in contracted revenue over an initial 10-year term and includes 2 5-year extension options. If exercised, these options would bring the total contract revenue to approximately $7 billion there. So right now it looks about $300 million in revenue going forward for them, which is nice. In addition, obviously, Google will do a backstop of $1.4 billion there on Fluid and get 5.4% of pro forma equity ownership stake in Cipher there. So approximately 24 million shares of Cipher common stock as well. Obviously, Cipher's thrilled to be working with Fluidstack to develop their HPC data centers, and they look forward to welcoming Google as an investor in Cipher as well. I'm sure that's all great things. So we finally got a deal happening here. Part of that deal is they need to build it out, right? And in order for them to build it out, well, they have 2 options to go with. They can do the ATM, which they have access to right now, which has about 700 million left available on the ATMs that they have right now. So they could do that, or they could do these, private offering, convertible senior notes at 0%, 800 million. That helps them get partially there. It's not going to be all the way, because if you're talking about building out the 168 megawatts of data at about 9 million per megawatt, let's see, 168 times 9 million there, you're looking at approximately 1.5 billion that you need to spend on it. So let's just say this does get oversubscribed to 1 billion. Then that leaves them with about 500 million left that they need to obviously come up with somehow to also fund that build out there. And the way that they're probably going to do that is possibly with also the ATM as well, because this doesn't cover it all. Now, unless it gets oversubscribed tremendously here and they get the actual 1.5 billion or whatever they're going to need, right, kind of in the average mark range, that would probably work out really good. But we'll see how the offering comes in. We'll get details probably on it tomorrow. If not tomorrow, we'll get it on Monday as well for them. So they're doing that. And yeah, I think the convertible senior notes right now is what drove the stock down. They wanted to lower the price, get a better deal in on the shares there for whoever's going to be getting into it as well. So let's see. We have it here. Cipher also expects to grant the initial purchasers of the notes a 13-day option to purchase and up to an additional 120 million aggregate principal amount of notes as well. I'm sure that's going to be raised as well. But we'll have to wait and see where this actually goes and what does it come out to be once the dust all settles with it. But once the convertible notes are done with, I think the stock's going to continue to go back up here, right? And then they obviously now have name recognition, right? They're dealing with Fluidstack, they're dealing with Google. That kind of solidifies their sites as good potentials for HPC-AI, data centers. And they also stated here that they are also possibly looking to do their own cloud of GPUs for, where they buy them, similar to what IREN is doing as well. So that would also be good, I think. If they start doing that also, that would be fantastic, because I think you get more upside from that than just doing these kind of co-location deals. But the good thing is they're going to own the infrastructure there regardless. So long run, that's great. Short term, a little volatility here. We're going to get past this in the next couple of days. Probably start out Q4 in a much better position here going forward as well. So it's going to be an interesting time for them in the next year to get this built out and get Fluidstack in there as well. So that's awesome to see. Happy for Cipher, obviously. And I still think the upside potential is still relatively large there as well for them going forward here. All right. They still have a lot of megawatts that they can throw not only their own GPUs into if they wanted to, or work with other customers as well, or even expand this out through Fluidstack also if they wanted to, or somebody else. So not concerned there. Right. This is going to be a little bit longer term play maybe for us, but I think the upside is still really, really good there. All right, that is it. Lastly, here we got also Cleanspark. Cleanspark expands capital strategy with additional 100 million Bitcoin-backed credit facility. I can't talk. Bitcoin-backed credit capacity from Coinbase Prime. Wait a minute, we talked about this one. This is where's the new one for them? Hold on, because they had another one with 2 Prime, I think it was. Events and presentations. Where did it go? Investors. No, I want the news. Sorry, I pulled up the wrong one for some reason. News. Let's see, with 2 Prime. There it is. All right. So they open up another 100 million Bitcoin-backed credit facility with 2 Prime. So that gets them up to 400 million now. So the financing brings Cleanspark's total collateralized lending facilities to 400 million, providing additional non-dilutive capital to accelerate data center growth. Right, they're talking about data center growth now, not Bitcoin mining growth. Proceeds are expected to support Bitcoin mining hash rate deployment, invest in high-performance computing HPC capabilities, and fund the company's evolving digital asset management strategies as well. So they are obviously excited to add 100 million in non-dilutive financing with 2 Prime. 2 Prime is also backed by Mara, I believe. Mara has some skin in the game there as well. I think they invested in 2 Prime also. So Mara is going to be getting a little bit of the action there. Let's see here. We are excited to add the 100 million in non-dilutive financing with 2 Prime, our mature capital stack, said Matt Schultz, Cleanspark CEO there. We have a range of exciting opportunities to maximize current megawatts in our portfolio, accelerate potential development of high-performance compute campuses, and further invest in our digital asset management strategies. This financing supports Cleanspark's continued evolution across all business segments, which is great to hear. And Mike Alfred and Matt Schultz had dinner, I think it was last night. So that, obviously, whatever was said in that conversation has also piqued Mike's interest, I guess, and that's why Mike's possibly investing here in Cleanspark as well, which is nice. All right. What else we have here? That's about it. Let's see. This is from, I believe, Gary V here. I am proud that we have so effectively utilized our treasury balance of nearly 13,000 Bitcoin to finance growth through responsibility-sized leverage and excellent partners like 2 Prime at a market-leading cost of capital, said Gary V. Cleanspark's Chief Financial Officer and President. With strong cash flow and creative opportunities ahead, we are positioned to rapidly pay down debt, and our 400 million total capacity remains largely undrawn. So that is great there as well. So a lot of good things happening here in the space, regardless of what the stock prices are doing right now. It's just an overreaction possibly in what's going on. Like I said, I'm not too worried about it right now. One thing I do want to point to you guys, though, is Cipher here. Cipher with their deal here. Right, with the 300 million, I updated their spreadsheet that I have for them. I now include also the HPC AI annual run rate for them with 300 million there for it. That's obviously going to be starting in next year, though, but at least this gives us an idea of where they possibly could be valued at, depending on how much they dilute the shares going forward if they need to. And then Bitcoin annual run rate right now, right, if we're combining all those things, I have them between $15.30 and $22.85. They're at $11.66. Yeah, they're undervalued right now for where they probably really should be. Compared to everybody else, okay? So just wanted to point that out because I forgot about this. And then the shorted data here. This is the latest data that we do have here as of 9/15 that has been reported to us. We can see that Marathon is still the most shorted here, 107 million on that one, followed by Riot, 74 million, Cleanspark, 55 million, along with Core. Cipher's at 15 million, IREN at 30.9, so 31 million roughly. BitTier 23, Hive 14.5, Kango only 1.6 million there. And percent of average floated shares shorted there. Marathon 29, almost 30%. BitTier 27, almost 28%. Riot 21.6. Cleanspark 20.3. Core 19.9%. Cipher 18.6. IREN 13.8. Hive 16.8%. And Kango just 0.92% out of that. Here you can see their market value and then the number of shares or the amount of shares being shorted, right, in dollar value. Number of shares shorted changed from last time. Marathon had an increase of 5.7 million. IREN 2.8. Cleanspark 2.5. Hive 2.03, Kango just a little bit 0.31 million, BitTier 0.08 million, barely anything there. Core is actually down 1 million, Riot down 2.5 million roughly, and Cipher is down 9.3 million there from last time we reported, which was at the end of August here. So have some changes obviously happening here, and we've seen a lot of these guys run here in the last week or so. Even 2 weeks here, so that's probably going to be going back right to when this was last reported. So we might actually see a change here happening going forward, but we'll see what that is in the next 2 weeks. Percentage change from last time here. So Hive is actually increased the number of shares shorted there by 16.3%. IREN 19.9%, Marathon 5.6%, Cleanspark 4.7%, BitTier 0.35%, Core down 1.83, Riot down 3.25, and Cipher down 15% from last time that we checked on this. Price-wise, 12 weeks ago, we can see how the prices have performed here on that one, and then percent 12 weeks shorted change on that one. We can see that as well. So some stocks are getting less shorted than others, which is kind of what we expected here, especially when some of these guys are actually running. Kind undercutting nicely here. So I expect the shorts to continue to cover as time progresses and as they do go up going forward here. The only one that might still be relatively high here, though, unless we see a change in direction from this, maybe from Marathon. I mean, Marathon is definitely the highest there, and yeah, I mean, that one might stay high, but I think some of the other ones here will continue to go down as time progresses and as the stock prices go up higher in price as well. Alrighty, that's it. As always, spreadsheets available to my Patreon members there. Link for that is down in the description. Greatly appreciate all the support that the Patreon members provide. And at least you get something out of it. And thank you to the YouTube members as well. Greatly support you guys, or greatly appreciate you guys as well. All right, that is it. Let's get into Q&A here, so what you guys have to say. And then we'll get through anything else you guys want to talk about here. All right. Q&A. As always, preface your questions with a question mark or a Q. I appreciate it. Going to scroll my way up and work my way down as always, and then we'll go from there. All right. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, trying to catch up on some of the comments here. Okay. John Kurtz says, Seb, what is Cipher thinking? Sign a huge contract, then hit the ATM for 800 million, which takes all the profits from the deal. Ever hear this before? Then stupid me buys more Cipher on that dip. Help. I think you do the right thing, right? They need to fund it one way or another, right? You can't just fund whatever it was the $1.5 billion you're going to need to build out a data center there for that. You need to fund it somehow. So, and that's the way you're going to do it. But you fund it, you have that data center, and then you have it for a long time, right? 30, 40, 50 years, whatever it might be. So it's part of your assets at that point, and you're just going to be making money off of it going forward here. So this is, right, a good thing. All right. Let's see. Paul Brown says, IREN held on while all else dumped today, as you said yesterday, Seb. Okay. Yeah, it did kind of play out that way. Yeah, IREN has definitely held up pretty well. Paul Brown, CORZ had a good day too. Yeah. And I think that's because Core, we've got a deal with another deal. I think it was like 6.5 billion with OpenAI, right? So that kind of helped Core Weave stock go up, which helped Core Scientific go up as well. MJS, I used the pullback to add on to my Cipher position, but I really didn't care for the convertible notes and the dilution that comes with the debt instrument. I prefer Cleanspark's BTC-backed debt. Well, they obviously have a lot more Bitcoin than Cipher has, right? So they can use that, and then, yeah, there's many ways to do it, but the good thing is they have a deal, right? You guys got to remember that. The deal is there. The site will be theirs long term, so they're getting something for something. It's not like you're just blowing money out the window. All right, let's see here. I guess Cleanspark might be able to finance its cloud infrastructure without much dilution and end up catching up to IREN somewhat. Clarify better than Cipher and others because it's HODL thoughts. They do have a HODL, right? Around 13,000 Bitcoin there. That's valued about right now, what is that? 1.4 billion or something like that. So they do have that. So, I mean, if they wanted to, they could basically use that to build out a 168, 200 megawatt data center, right? So they have that there. All right. MGS, John Kurtz, Cipher didn't use its ATM, but a convertible note instead, but same effect. Yeah, same effect, but just down the road, right? On that one, let's see. Jordan K says, Cipher was an easy buy. Great buying day. Absolutely. Ron says, hey, Seb, hope you're well. I'm doing well. Yeah, thank you for asking. Hope you're doing well. Let's see, Ryan, based on the current energy capacity, Bitcoin mining, and assets, what market cap would you assign to Bitfarms? Bitfarms, I think, should be around like 2.5 to like, I would say, I think 2.5 to like 3 billion, somewhere around there. They're at 1 point something billion right now as it is. But yeah, somewhere around there. Ryan says, I'm doing great. Portfolio is doing a lot better thanks to patience and a lot of DCA over these past 12 months. Yeah, DCA helped me out tremendously as well, and I'm definitely doing a lot better than I was, a couple of months ago. All right, Ryan, and thanks to you for your insights and keeping the community informed. You're very welcome, and thank you for that. Paul Brown, only two Sebastian I know and like, the other from the Never Ending Story movie. That was a great story. I remember that. That one was a great movie. All right, let's see. Safrel, I'm still hanging on to my Hive calls. I'm not going to be shaken just from BTC dipping. Great, right? Depending on your calls are, the date and everything else, you should be good. Joao Lewis, But Cipher in the dip, 12-ish here. Nice, very nice. Let's see, HD Tech Cigar announces, I think you meant Cipher there, announces deal, stocks pumps, then they announce dilution. You got to fund it somehow, right? So that's fine. It's accretive. It's not, right? But it's also, I think it's the institutions that be buying those convertible notes. They're driving the stock down right now. They're probably selling what they had originally just to bring the price down, and then they can load up on it with the convertible notes. All right. Sarmelon says, AI HPC saved us. Bitcoin has been a terrible hold. It has, right? It definitely has now played out this way, or at least I didn't think it was going to play out this way, going back to just 2-3 years ago. But yeah, AI and the megawatts needed for that has definitely saved a lot of these companies here. And I think we'll see how Bitcoin does later on this year. I think maybe the fourth quarter is going to be better here. Historically, it has been better, but we'll see. All right, Paul Brown. I bought on the dip on Mora, Cipher, Soluna, Riot, Bitfarms, BitDeer. Very nice. That's awesome. Also, MicroStrategy and MSTY. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that one's way down there. We'll see how that one does. Runs a question here. With the recent rally in minor data center stocks, do you think it could it be signaling a speculative bubble forming in the sector, something people have been talking about, an AI bubble? Not yet. The valuations are nowhere near from where they were in the dot-com bubble, right? At that point, you also had companies that had huge valuations with really no revenue or barely any revenue. At that point, these guys are getting revenue. So that's a different story. The only one that's maybe of concern there is maybe OpenAI, right? They're building and buying up stuff as fast as they can, and the revenues are still a little bit behind there. Their revenues need to catch up here. But the way that Sam talks, Sam says that they need to build this stuff out so they can put out the prices they want to put out there to get the revenues that they need, right? So it's kind of one of those things. If you build it, they will come. The Sufferell says Big Pharma coming for you via your allergies. Wouldn't doubt it. Let's see. Paul Brown, bless you in advance. Thank you. Yeah, it seems like it's actually my allergies have quieted down here a little bit, so hopefully that still holds true. Victor C. Cipher needs 700 million for build out. They need to use the ATM. Do you think yesterday they used most of it? That I don't know. We'll find out obviously when they report. We'll see how many shares they have at that point. So that I do not know. But yeah, with the stock being down, they could have used it today. They probably could have used it yesterday as well. Right? That might have been the case. I'm not sure. All right, Ryan, question. Have you started trimming profits or are you still holding? I'm still holding. Also, do you still hold Bitfarms? Yes, I still have Bitfarms. If so, when would you sell? Gosh, that's not an easy question to answer right now, right? With everything that we're seeing in HPCI right now, building these companies up, with the potential that also Bitfarms has here, may hold it for a little bit longer here. We'll see where we go with it, right? My cost average is pretty low, 153, I think is the average on it. Have about 9,000 so much shares of it. So I'm going to hold on to it, see where it goes for the time being. I mean, if I sell it now, what would I have? About 20 some odd thousand roughly. So, I mean, it's a sizable amount, but it's not a huge profit, so I can let it ride, see where it goes on that one. Sir Melon Gaming says ABTC is a scam. I don't think it's a scam. I think it's just overpriced right now. And I think it's mainly because of the name recognition there with the Trump family. All right. Dad's Market Stats. Good evening, Seb and the My Community. Tomorrow I get assigned 400 more shares of Bitfarms at the $3 strike adjusted cost after the premium would be $2 a share. My current DCA is $1.08 Bitfarms. Nice. MGS, do you think there is any value holding CoreWeave if you have CORZ and Cipher? CoreWeave, I mean, is there any value? Could they get more deals from others as well? Possibly, right? So that would pump the stock up there as well. And yeah, I mean, that's the only way I could see it going up here is obviously more deals. All right. Let's see. SH, I called it 2 days ago about Soluna dilution, and today it got announced. Yeah, I saw that. Was it 90 some odd million, right? I saw that as well. Drago says Google gave Wolf more money. Yes, but it was also for more megawatts that they signed up for. So that's part of it there. All right, Ryan asks, are you an analyst by profession? You're very good at breaking down the data trends with clarity. Thanks for all you do. I am not by trade, no. My background is in computer information systems, things like that, data. So that's kind of where I pull all this stuff from. The more data that I have, the better I can understand things. That's just me. That's just the way my brain works. But thank you for that. I try to make it as clear as possible because I need it to be as clear as possible as well. Mark, I can't believe Cipher got dumped today. Could have been great opportunity to pump the stock, and it will still be, right? Let this play out. Let the market makers, the institutions do their thing, bring the stock down, get in at a lower price, and then they will run it up as well. Because you just never know, right? We could have a couple more deals here happening this year from other companies as well with Cipher. Neil says, stay strong during this shakeout, fake out. Yep, I agree. Drago says, I don't think Cipher will be pumping for a bit. Give it a couple of days, I think it will. SH says, Ben announced today, nice consolidation. I bought the dip Bitfarms. Yeah, he did. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, Ben did buy some more Bitfarms share there. So he still has, huge conviction in the company there and believes it to be undervalued, which I believe is also the case. All right. Bitchin82 says, sold more Bitfarms 250 puts today for, also sold $3 Hive puts for 38 cents. Very nice. Victor, I got in at 14 pre-open. Is this price considered expensive? Could it hit $50? You're talking about Cipher there. Cipher could definitely go up as they get more deals, as they also possibly build out their own AI cloud. Let's see. That's Market Set says, I want the shares. That's why I sold 3 puts for Bitfarms. Okay. Mr. X, I bought some Hive. Good. So you guys are going on a buying spree today. That's awesome. Let's see. Market says, I have also short, strangle, and straddle on open at 9 and 10 strike. Okay. Mr. X, is Hive still a good buy? I believe it is, right? But my only concern there has always been with them not having any operations in the United States. Like I've said before, I don't know if that's going to be a detriment to the stock price or not. But looking at their operations and everything else, I think they are undervalued. All right, Escape. With 168 megawatts and 3 billion dealers, Cipher is at 12 with full 2.6 gigawatts. That would be price in 2026, 27. Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of where we would be at that point because they're not making revenue on it right now. They will be making revenue on it in basically October, in the fourth quarter, if they build everything out by then. All right, Mr. X, which is a better buy for Hive versus Cleanspark as of today? I would say probably Cleanspark because we have 50 exahash. Hive is doing great as far as operations are concerned, building out to 25 exahash. And they also have HPC-AI play. Data center in Ontario. They have other sites as well that use HPC-AI. But again, my concern is not having the operations in the United States. That's my only concern there. So for that, I would say with Cleanspark having a huge HODL that they can pull on if they wanted to build out any HPC-AI data centers, they could use that, or they can use other tools as well. I would say Cleanspark might be the better way to go. Maybe I would maybe put more into it than Hive, but Hive also has a pretty good possibility of going up. All right, Roger says $50 Cleanspark incoming. Let's get to $20 and $25 first before we start looking at $50 here, right? Baby steps. Let's see if we can do that. Market Stats. Bitfarms will be the next deal announced by Amazon. Maybe. We'll see. Drago says, Roger, hope so because my IREN will be 100. Nice. Yeah, I mean, love to see IREN at 100. Let's see. Sarah Mellon says, I agree with Roger. Go Cleanspark. All right. OTC question. What do you think about class action lawsuit against Bitfarms, Seb? I'm not in favor of those things. I mean, you kind of know what you're getting into. I mean, if there's some shenanigans going on in the background, okay, but for the most part, it's just lawyers chasing money for the most part. So I think it's a nothing burger there, to be honest with you guys, but we'll see where it plays out. Starmelon, IREN price target $100, Cleanspark price target 60 to 70. That would be awesome. That'd be kind of right back to where I had them like 2 years ago as far as my price targets for these guys. But not because of Bitcoin, but more because of HPCI. But nonetheless, they would still get there, which is a strange coincidence. Jose, hey Seb, that guy in the video talking about Cleanspark said his price target is 57, 35. I couldn't remember it because I watched it earlier today and I didn't have my headphones in this time around. So 57, okay, so that would be awesome. That's even better than what I thought it was. All right, let's see, R2509, how much attention do you give to analyst price targets? Does this impact your profit-taking strategy at all? Not really. Depending on the stock, I guess you could say, right? I kind of look to see where I think things should be valued at, and I, look at that more than what the analysts do. We saw with IREN was priced much lower by the analysts, and then it started running, and then finally the analysts kind of cut up and go, okay, yeah, this thing should be valued much higher, which is kind of what we've known. So analysts, I mean, they do drive the markets sometimes as well, as far as retail investors and their perspective on the stock, whether it's overvalued or undervalued, based on those. So there is some input on that, I guess, but not very much. All right. David says, looking for 30% dip, tracking E-dip from 112 to 74,000 looks like a measured move as the dip does as well. Still see a bigger pump ahead. The last dip was 3 months ago. That's if we have a 30% correction in Bitcoin like we have had. Yes, the last two that we've had in the past year. Yeah, we're 30%. So that would get us, would it be some, I think it was like 84, 82,000, something like that would be a 30% dip from 124,000 at that point. I'm hoping that doesn't happen here, but who knows? You know, they might play some shenanigans before we actually run up higher. All right, B82 Hive was a good price today. Yes, it was. Safrel, question, considering all the miners moved at substantially the same pattern, do you think that this dip was driven mostly by BTC dip or by profit-taking distribution from the... I would say mostly by profit-taking, people freaking out over the economy a little bit as well. I think that was part of it. All right, talked about that one already. Let's see, R2509. CoreWeave managed to run 40 to 160 in a matter of weeks. Can you see IREN doing anything similar with a huge deal? I could see them doing with a huge deal or announcing themselves that they're getting to, you know, 60,000 GPUs by the end of the first half of 2026 or something like that, right? Or getting to 100,000 GPUs by the end of the next year or something like that. Those things will also pump it there, I think. So any kind of good news as far as growth in AI business is going to be a good thing. All right, Steve Byers 9672 bought more Cipher IREN GPUs backed and MIGI Mawson. You bought Mawson? Okay. Robert, I know it's a micro buy. Any has good structure. It has good structure. Any, which is Sphere 3D, they don't own anything there. I'll be surprised if they survive the next year or two, to be honest with you. But we'll see. All right, DF, dip day, nice to load more MAR, Cleanspark, and BTC. FTX dip to come in. Cheers. Let's see, ditch HPC miners for more pure. Wait for a BTC drop to leg in and more treasury. Okay. Let's see. DGF says Backed has traction. That I don't know. I don't follow Backed. I know obviously Mike has gotten in on the board there with Backed, and that one has had a nice run up here. But I would have to do some more research on Backed. SK Seb, did you buy anything today? I did not. No. I'm so low on my averages on all of these guys here that it would be. I mean, I could have bought more, but could have gotten still a 2x on a lot of stuff. Yeah, I probably could have. But I'm just kind of loading up some cash here to maybe get into some other things as well. Right now, that's at least the plan. But if they dip even more, I may actually buy here. So if we see another dip tomorrow and Monday or something like that, I may actually buy more at that point. All right, Neville, I like the deal Cipher got, and I will hold long term. However, after seeing that, I now prefer IREN go full throttle or pursuing being a neo cloud provider. I would agree, right? I think there's more upside to doing that yourself. All right, DGF, I'd rather get HPC with big tech or wait till hype cycle dips. To sell, I'm guessing, right? Let's see, more Tim, do you think the reaction to the Cipher deal makes retail nervous about future IREN deals? I don't think, no. I mean, if that was the case, I think that we would have seen the stock go down, you know, a proportional amount to what Cipher did today. But I don't think that's the case. SK, is it worth buying IREN at 46? If you think they can still do, you know, another 2x from here, even maybe even a 3-4x from here, then yeah, it makes sense, right? All right. Let's see, KBW says Mara might be the worst performing stock year to date. Yeah, I think it is like one of the worst here. Cleanspark hasn't had a great day or a great year either, but it's starting to bounce back up here, which is nice. Let's see here. Gary says, Cleanspark has a couple of sites suitable for HPCI, but the majority still are too small or not on major fiber lines. Even if they get back to 2024 highs, wasted opportunity to get back to even. Well, you never know, right? Depending on the sites that they do have that are potential, like the one around Atlanta, Georgia. I think they have a couple sites around there. Those might be actually pretty good, right? Never say never. We'll see where we go. I mean, obviously, if that guy on Fox News is saying $50 some odd, right? They're looking ahead on it. David, any chance you can include minor treasuries, a list of holdings moving up or down, and by how much? Miners dumping is the best bear market indicator. So I do track that already. On my spreadsheets here, you will see here on, where is it at? I'm going to go here. For each company that does have a position in Bitcoin, we track their BTC HODL over time. And then we also I think we have one spot. We probably could do it also as an aggregate, right? A combination of all the companies that have a HODL position here, and how much is that growing or is that actually decreasing here? So we could do that, but I do have that here where we do look at it monthly as they report it. So that is there in the spreadsheets. All right, Victor C. With good news for Cipher compared to other stocks like IREN and Wolf, usually price of stock go up at least 2x from current price possible. Thanks, okay. Gary, IREN just has to meet its targets, which it always does, to rise to 75 soon. The 23,000 GPUs is only 2% it has energy capacity for, so only going higher long term. Yeah, I would agree with you there. All right, Guy, is Cleanspark still a good buy around 14, or is it too late to join the party? I think it's still a good buy at this. I think it should be like around, in the mid 20s to high 20s in price range there. So I think there's still more room to run up on that one. All right, Neville says, no way Cleanspark catches up to IREN. No way. As far as market cap, yeah, I think that's a tall order to reach right now, right? You would need for them to basically do the same thing IREN has been doing here for the past year, which is getting expertise on HPC AI, building out the sites that they do have, turning those into HPC AI sites, building out basically a cloud AI software stack there for customers and everything else. So yeah, they're going to be a little bit behind here, but eventually, in a couple of years, maybe they do catch up to them, or they could get there faster. You never say never in this space because you just never know how things are going to perform. All right, Gary, do you expected Cleanspark pattern of increasing mining losses the last 3 quarters will continue in Q3? Difficult seems. Do I expect it? Losses? Yeah, I think we're going to probably have, unless they really surprise us with much cleaner figures for a lot of the stuff that they have been spending on things, right? SG&A, depreciation, all those things, then I would expect it to be the same. Difficulty seems to be going up much faster than Bitcoin prices right now. Yeah, that happens at times as well, where Bitcoin hash rate goes higher than the Bitcoin price stalls or whatever for a time period, and then it does actually, the price of Bitcoin will actually rocket back up. All right, Des Market Stats. Would Amazon be interested in buying out Bitfarms? They definitely need to catch up on their AI, losing to Google at the moment. I guess it would depend on where in the process is Bitfarms with securing the megawatts there, right? They're trying to get those with the PJM market. So depending on where they would be, that would determine whether or not Amazon wants to go in and buy it. But yeah, I mean, it's cheap enough for Amazon just to pay cash for right now. Let's see. All right, David Humphrey, any more thoughts on core versus knots? That's, I don't have any more thoughts on it just yet. That is something that I still need to research there. I know that a lot of people are pushing towards knots, that it's more in line with, I believe, the core thesis around Bitcoin there. I got to look into it some more, so I'll just leave it at that right now. AJ, what invest in CAN and any your view and which level entry? Okay. Canon, so I'm guessing you're talking about Canon there. I would say that might be a better one than Annie. I know Annie's way down there in price, but there's a reason for it. They don't own any infrastructure. When's the last time they reported any good news stories? Let's see if we can pull this up here. because I was tracking them for a while there, about a year or 2 years or something like that, when they first went public. Here, let me see, small miners. See, Argo, Bit Digital, or Sphere 3D. There it is. Okay, let's see what's the latest thing that they have provided here. Last thing we have from them is from August 5th. This was their report, second quarter financial results. Prior to that, it was May 14th, so there's not much going on there on that one. Let me see if we can find anything. Here's this. Achieved net income of 1.7 million in the quarter, right? They barely have enough probably money to pay themselves, let alone without pulling on dilution and everything else. Let's see, revenue was 3 million for the second quarter of 2025 compared to 4.7 million for the quarter. Yeah, like I said, these guys, the only thing that they owned were the ASIC machines, no infrastructure, nothing else. They were asset light. Can't operate that way in this space, unfortunately. So we'll see how Kango does going forward. They have at least a much higher hash rate, like 50 exahash, and so does ABTC here. But ideally, you need infrastructure to really survive. All right. Sour Seb. We'll just have to agree to disagree on ABTC. ABTC opened September 3rd at 6 billion valuation while simultaneously banging investors with a 2.1 billion ATM. Only 2.4 thousand HODL, 24 exahash. I agree with you. They're way overvalued. I agree with you there. I don't necessarily think it's a scam, not just yet. I don't have anything to point me to as a scam just yet. I know that they want to grow, obviously, their Bitcoin mining side of things. They want to grow their HODL position as well. So we shall see. Mr. X, is ABTC American Bitcoin just another MicroStrategy, or do they do other things too? Well, they have the Bitcoin mining machines, which are hosted with Hut 8. So they're asset light in that regard. They have the HODL position as well. And what else are they going to be doing? I think that's it, basically. So, all right. SK question. Eric Jackson mentioned IREN will be $900 and Cipher $300. What do you think of that? I think he's pricing that with all megawatts being energized for HPC-AI, if that happens, right? But it also doesn't take into account how much dilution is going to be there to get that. Because when you're talking about 2 gigawatts of power that some of these guys' sites have, at just $9 million per megawatt. So let's see, you have 2 gigawatts, so that's 2,000 megawatts basically, right? Yeah, 2,000 megawatts times $9 million per megawatt to build out. You're looking at, $18 billion itself just to build that out, which, IREN is not even worth that right now itself. So, and that's if my math is correct, right? 2,000 megawatts is 2 gigawatts, yeah, and 9,000 per megawatt, yeah. So that looks like it's $18 billion to build that out. It could take over some expended period of time. Yeah, we could get there possibly. But also, how much dilution do we have in that time frame as well? So could that come down in half? Possibly. All right. Let's see, 6737 asks, can we check your price target Hive after they hit 20 exahash? We'll get the number. So we'll have that full 20 exahash operating here in October, because right now we have a couple more days left in September. So we won't have that full number that they were operating in it. But right now, they're not too far off from it as well. Hive, if we look at it, let's see here, they are at 18 exahash, right? So 2 exahash from where they are right now, not too far off. They are generating from their Bitcoin mining side of things here with 1 million in revenue from HPC-AI as well. They should be between 882 and 1322, something like that. So depending also where Bitcoin goes next month, or even where it is this month for them in operations, they might bring down their revenue. Well, their revenue probably should go up because they have increased more hash rate. But so it will increase a little bit, right, by a couple million there, which will then obviously help out the stock price possibly being valued even higher at that point. Or at least where I think it should be valued. It's still at 358, so it still has an easy 2x from where it probably should be valued, in my opinion at least. Right, but we'll see. Okay, there's that one. See, Brian says, watch out for that Tylenol, Seb. Just kidding, feel better. Thanks. Yeah, I try not to take anything that I don't need to, unless I absolutely need to take something. I will take something, but for the most part, I try to do it homeopathically. have a headache, close my eyes for a little bit, whatever it might be. But if I can't deal with something, then I will take something for it. Let's see here. SH says location, and Bitfarms got the best location to connect to Europe and Asia. They do, but so do others in that area, right? You got other companies that are also in that vicinity of Pennsylvania, along with Washington as well, I think. So they're not the only ones there. All right, Victor asks, when is the next halving? The next halving is in approximately, 2.5 years? 2.5 years, I think. Something like that. All right. Andrew, thoughts on Mawson? Could this be a great buying opportunity? You guys are looking for like all the ones that are way undervalued here. Mawson has turned things around. They actually sold sites to Cleanspark, when was it, about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, back in 2022, when Bitcoin was going down, everything else was getting, trashed on. They had financial issues, so they sold some sites. One of them was to Cleanspark there. I don't know where they are right now as far as their operations. I know that they have been turning things around in last year at least. So, and then where are they valued at right now? I don't even know if I even track them anymore. I don't think I do. Let's see here. What do we got here? We got the small miners. I do have Mawson. It's at 44 cents right now. We can see it here. On that one, it went down to 28 cents here. It's kind of coming back up here. What do we have as far as news earnings here? Not much reported. 9.5 million in revenue for Q2, it looks like. Prior quarter was actually 13.8, so they're actually making less revenue there, unless some of their sites that could be actually used for, let's see, Mawson infrastructure. This is September 3rd. Group Inc. files for mixed shelf of up to 50 million. So they need cash, obviously. That's, if anything, put a little bit down, just like buying a lottery ticket, I guess. I probably should have pulled that up for you guys on the screen there. Sorry about that. All right. Talked about that one. Let's see. All right. Gary, I believe the analyst on the Fox day was related to Morgan Stanley analyst who lowered IREN to 17 after Q2 earnings. Bitcoin analysts for Wall Street are the worst of any sector. Even the ones that have IREN going to 75, 80, 82, and all that, right? Can't be picking and choosing. Gary, Seb, your math on IREN didn't include their 5 or 6 gigawatt pipeline. Well, pipeline, like I say, is a pipe dream right now. Until it's actually signed, right, their contract in place, they put down deposit, then we can talk about it. Right now, I'm not even thinking about those things. Because those things are probably even, 3, 4, 5 years down the road. All right. Des market stats, I would take an all stock buyout from Amazon. Okay, on Bitfarms, all right. DeFi, are you a believer in Soluna? This went to above 3, down a bit, but seems like this will run hard. Watch list, please. We do keep an eye on it here, at least right now. We'll see where it's going because it's definitely interesting to see that thing running. But like I said before, they have a lot of these partnerships that they enter in with for a lot of their sites, which doesn't make it easy to figure out how much revenue they're getting from those sites. And they're valued kind of low. Their cash position or their balance sheet isn't that great. They are trying to fix that or bolster that up right now. Not a lot of revenue also. So that's another one kind of like Mawson there as well, right? Invest a little bit on it. Play it like a lottery ticket. If it runs, it runs for you. Okay, let's see here. DeFi, Cleanspark got a massive price target for 57. HPC is picking up steam. Are you buying more? I am not currently, no. If it dips more, then I might pick up some more. But I did buy, last time I bought IREN and, what did I buy last time? Cipher and Cleanspark was back now, 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago that I bought? Something like that. All right. Mark says that this is the best opportunity for Cleanspark leadership to grow as demand for HPC AI is high and infrastructure is needed for AI compute. They need to study IREN and make decisions accordingly. I would agree. Gary, everyone thinks of standard travel on location, but aren't thinking of high fiber pathways traveling in milliseconds. Why Cipher got same deal basically as Wolf on megawatts. Yes, I agree with you. High fiber, right? High fiber redundancy. Redundant fiber connectivity is also an important part of it as well. DeFi, Cleanspark secures a $100 million Bitcoin-backed credit facility with 2 Prime, boosting is collateralized, lending to 400 million. Yeah, we talked about that. This is non-dilutive funding, aims to enhance data center growth. Yep, we talked about that already. All right, Senkath, this is my third Q&A session with you. How often do you usually host these Q&As? I'm interested in starting options trading. What would you recommend as the best way for a beginner to get started? Okay, I don't do options. So there's plenty of great people here in this space that do options that they can definitely probably help you out on that. And there's also a bunch of other great channels on YouTube that work on options and will be more than happy to help you out as well. But I don't do options. But thank you so much for coming in here. As far as when do I do these Q&As, I do them pretty much every day except for Saturdays, right? Yeah, pretty much 6 days a week. We go Sunday through Friday. Saturday's the only day I take off here. All right, Ron, question. Would you say this cycle will bring BTC back down 80%, or will that percentage become more stable with more adoption? I still think it's going to be more stable this time around, going forward at least. We probably won't go down 80%. I'm pretty sure of that, but it could be proven wrong, right? It could be, the market's going to do what the market's going to do here, but I think with all the adoption that we're seeing here, I think this is going to be a different cycle, an extended cycle potentially as well. All right. Let's see. David asks, do you use no STR, decentralized social media, the apps, Damus, or Primo? I do not, no. All right. Let's see. Neville says, I second an all stock offer from Amazon. That poop would be amazing. That's a ton of upside with Amazon. Yeah. All right. DeFi IREN 200 is a real deal this year. Red panty night when that happens, okay? You go into the strip club, I'm guessing. Victor, after Wolf got a deal, how many percent has it gone up? Well, we can take a look at it here. I was looking at it actually earlier today as well, just to kind of compare how did that react and how is Wolf or how is Cipher reacting right now. So if we go here on that one, you can see, I believe the deal was here, right? We had a pump on the deal, and Cipher's been pumping on the potential of a deal here. And then we had a correction. This one went down also quite a bit from the top here. Let's see, we're here. We went down to about there, so about 20% correction on it in roughly 2 days or so. And then it's taking a while for it to get back up, but it's actually gotten higher to where it was prior to that. So I'm expecting the same kind of thing here from Cipher potentially as well on that. Okay. All right, so there's that one. I think we're getting close to having all the questions answered here. Okay, talked about that one. Gary says, no analysts calling for $75 to $85 on price. Targets are over a year behind analysts on X, and those number months ago. So yes, all analysts are all behind. Okay, I mean, if you view it that way, then yeah. Gary, with the growth stocks, once target is hit, analysts just raise targets. Seen it with Tesla for 10 years. That always pretty much happens because a company grows, right? So as company grows, you raise the targets up. Can IREN overtake CoreWeave in market cap? CoreWeave is at, what is their market cap right now? Like 50 some odd billion dollars, I think. Let me see here. CoreWeave, let me see if we can pull this up really quick. CRWV, there it is. Go over here to financials. All right, so 61 billion. So CoreWeave right now is 61.8 billion right now. And we got IREN. Let's see, IREN is here. So I'll just say 62 billion and 12.5 billion. So you're looking at roughly, what is that, 5x from here, roughly, on it. So IREN would need to get to like $200 a share. Could it do that? In time, possibly. I'm not going to say it's going to happen here in the next 3 months or anything like that, but in the next year and a half, we could possibly be there. If they continue to build out their own HPC cloud, right? If they continue to buy more GPUs, install those things, and just have customers using their GPUs, that way I could possibly get there, which would be kind of really, really nice. All right, going back here to the Q&A. Let's see what else we got here. We're going on over an hour already as it is. All right, talked about that one. Why the dip in Cipher? I believe it's because the institutions that are going to be buying up the convertible notes there, they dumped it down so they can get in a better prices, basically. Let's see. Gary says, IREN will pass CoreWeave in a year or two. Okay, so you're kind of thinking the same thing as I am. All right. Dad's Market Stats. Happy Friday, everyone. Heading into the last week of September. October will be amazing. Well, hopefully October and the rest of the fourth quarter is going to be amazing for us here. Historically, it has been, so I'm looking forward to that as well. Hopefully we can get this Q3 over with because it hasn't been all that great. Bitcoin has been basically flat for the quarter here. Hasn't done jack, really. So really looking forward to Q4 here, and we'll see where we go from there. Tomorrow's Friday. We'll see where things end up at. And then DFly asks, which price would you take profits in IREN? Oh boy. If we got to $160, that would give me basically roughly 7 figures on that one. If we can get there, I'll probably start taking profits at that point. That doesn't mean that I don't start taking profits a little bit earlier too, right? If we get to, I don't know, $80, $100, something like that, I may take a little bit off the table there just to lock in some gains. Maybe take out what I actually put into it. I don't know. Well, that'll greatly depend on what do we see happening from the company as far as where are they growing, how are they executing all those things. That will all determine as far as do I hold longer or do I sell earlier, right? Also the market, where's the market going overall? Where's the economy going? Those things will determine it more so than just price itself. And then SK has a question. Both Cipher and IREN has 2.6 gigawatt in pipeline. Then why IREN running higher? IREN has the 2 gigawatts available within the next, 1.4 gigawatts available next year, I believe, and the other 600 megawatts of that in 2027. So they, I believe, have a tighter time frame to getting that done than Cipher does. Also, IREN is doing their own AI cloud basically for customers, and they're increasing that by buying more GPUs for themselves and to then have their customers use it. So that looks like maybe the better way to go. Right? So we'll see. All right, but that's it. We'll see where we go tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. We'll see if we continue to dump down on Bitcoin with options expirations as well tomorrow, and anything else that happens. I don't know if there's any economic data tomorrow or not. We'll cover it if it does. All right. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for coming in as always. Hope you guys have a wonderful Friday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.